I'm gonna be honest with you guys right now. Aside from dropping my phone camera right now because of the hype, I don't know how I'm supposed to react right now because th- there was the teaser for season 6, which had a few cool things, and then the thing that everyone's gonna be talking about, the F wording changelings. But then yesterday, Marvel dropped the freaking bomb at Comic Con with like 3 rad trailers for their Marvel series is on Netflix. So I don't even know what to feel right now. All I know is it's good. Luke Cage, Defenders, and Iron Fist look so sick. But we're here for ponies, and yeah, we're here for a 30-second teaser for about probably an 8-minute video. Let's go.
Yeah. So what we're going to be doing for this is we're going to talk about the trailer, which has some of the stuff from the synopses. We have a whopping 5 synopses. So again, spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear any of this, click away now.
Well, I mean, it's not
And
like
we're
it
also
tells
going
the
to,
whole plot of the episode, but it's
yeah,
just saying
but you
like,
have
hey, this
you
is
have
going to happen.
you have those purists who can't bear to see any word until the episode airs. But
Purists.
we're
I'm talking
also
about sense. We're talking about sensitive material while I'm playing Star Wars. I can give a crap about purists.
we're also going to be talking
Eat
about
it,
the new
Empire.
we're also going to be talking about the new Legend of Everfree trailer and what we think of that too. So should be fun.
Yes. So let's
So
get into it right away. Let's talk about the teaser. Can I just say that 6 seasons in, and I know season 6 has been, well, not controversial, but it's been talked about as being just a little on the hit or miss side. But I'll tell you what, this show still never ceases to be able to draw up good amounts of hype for when they're coming back. And even taking the changeling out of it, there's a lot of cool plot points. There's a lot of cool looking potential things that are going to go down here, and it's just got me stoked. One thing in particular, I keep wanting to talk about the changeling thing, but that's like one of the last things they show. um I don't trust myself. You start us off with something. I'm gonna keep blasting
okay,
Stormtrooper.
well, one thing that I will say here, Snakeskin himself, when I told him this synopsis, he was just like, dude, what?
Oh
What?
my god.
It's another Rainbow Dash episode. But the third during new episode, so that'll be fun. It's called Stranger Than
Yeah.
Fan Fiction. And
Fan fiction. Fantastic. Oh.
hmm,
It's
so
like
it says, no, go on.
this episode hasn't even come out yet, and I already don't know what to feel. Like not in
Yeah,
a
but
bad
you
way,
know
or
it.
like not in a bad way, but just kind of like, what do you what do you do with that title? Stranger than fan fiction in a show that's infamous for it. Well, not it's fan fiction necessarily, but still for a show to where that couldn't be any more relevant. The only other show that could have made an episode like this where it would have been relevant would have been like, I don't know, like Steven Universe or the Miraculous Ladybug or something. But it's Friendship is Magic, the show that like ushered in a new era of things that would take too long to list. And I was watching TV the other day and I saw they have, I don't know if you've seen it, they have like a TV spot for it. And it's literally like the synopsis says: Rainbow Dash meets a fan that's a bigger fan, that may be a bigger fan than her, and she just flips all kinds of gaskets. And honestly, it looks hilarious.
And we actually have a guest voice actor for this one too. I
That's
forget his
right.
name.
Oh, that was I think it's I forgot his name.
Yeah, but it looks fun. And by the way, speaking of fan fiction, since we're on this tangent, I watched the roundtable review with what was it? Keyframe, ANY, Toon Critic, Golden Fox, and Voice of Reason, and they were talking about their favorite fan fictions. Voice's favorite fan fiction is Letters from a Disgruntled Friendship Student.
Dude, that's like one of the best ones.
I know, right? I actually keep going back on occasion to our
Patton
season
Oswalt.
4 videos.
I think it's Patton
Yeah, it is
Oswalt
Patton
that's the
Oswalt.
special voice in that.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
I knew it was a fat comedian.
Yeah. They gave him. Anyway,
But yeah, so
so
that looks hilarious. I remember you told me one of the other ones. Because I thought there was only like 3 synopsises that were revealed, but you said there's 5.
yeah, there's one that no one really talks about, but we'll get to that in just a second. The next one is called The Cart Before the Ponies, and it's the Cutie Mark Crusaders, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Rarity participate in the Applewood Derby. And that it honestly
Oh, does that
reminds
mean
me
we're
of,
gonna see? Does
like,
that mean we're gonna see Big Mac cross dress again?
I don't know. It'd be interesting. But you shush. We're already getting a Big Macintosh episode later.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, not really much to say. Although I will say, right in the childhood for a lot of the movies, I never really participated in it in real life, but I've seen it in a lot of the movies and stuff, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad we get another Cutie Mark Crusader episode. I don't want to sound like one of those guys, but now that they've got their Cutie Marks, I'm still kind of waiting for them to really do things that it's taking a little time, but it's gonna be worth it when the writers
totally.
eventually stop teasing us.
This is the synopsis right here that no one really talked about, but I saw the synopsis and I'm like, oh gosh, that's going to be good. Basically, cross The Walking Dead with Mare-Do-Well 2.0, and you have the episode Pranks Later. It says Rainbow Dash gets carried away with her pranks, so the other ponies decide to get even Zompony style.
Oh my god. Uh, 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 that sounds like a season 1 idea.
But hey,
But hey,
maybe
I
it's
mean, Walking Dead. Breaking Bad was 10 times the show. Walking Dead, well, that's not fair. They're 2 different types of shows.
no, but I do agree with you. I like Breaking Bad more than Walking Dead. I couldn't get into
No,
Walking Dead.
that's it. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you though. That's a interesting idea. I mean, I know we've done I guess we've come to think of it, we haven't really had an episode of like Dash doing pranks in a while. Come to think of it, how long's it been? I'm trying to think. When's the last time we've seen like mischievous Dash? Normally Rainbow Dash is just kind of like kind of cocky and into herself, but like I haven't really seen like mischievous playful Dash in a long time. Maybe the Halloween episode, but
Yeah,
well, the
possibly. The
Halloween
only thing
episode from last season.
yeah. Honestly though, like gosh, I honestly the last time I remember a mischievous Rainbow Dash was in Daring Don't. When she's just getting all those awesome stuff goings on with Daring Do. That still was such a good episode.
That was a pretty good. That was a pretty good episode, actually. That was the episode that made me start to like Rainbow Dash a bit again, and I was just like, whatever. But the Takes for the Memories comes out, and I'm just like, sold. You're better than Twilight. That may not mean a lot to
Indeed.
some people, but it means a lot to me in my book.
Mm-hmm. So, This is the one that everyone's been talking about is Snakeskin. I know you want to talk about it. It's where Twilight Spike, Sunburst, and Starlight all go to the Crystal Empire to go see Floriard again. And they encounter a changeling. Now,
Oh my
I'm
god!
going to say this here. The Brodies React pointed this out to me. But
Sorry, my hype dropped. My hype dropped my phone. Camera. The camera.
Yeah. But at the end of Brody's React, you have that little sliver
I got
of
killed
black.
by a walker.
You have that sliver of black coming by on the Crystal Empire. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's a change. Are we finally getting to know about the changelings more?
Oh my god, this is one of those things. You have people that wanted Discord back. You have people that wanted more from Sombra, and they kind of got their wish in the comics, even though that miniseries sucked. But and then you have other things. I think out of everything that a lot of the fans like wanted to see again, I think the changelings top a lot of lists. Because Sombra was pure evil, but Chrysalis was like the first like super duper evil villain of the thing, and and Camelot Wedding is still a lot of bronies, not favorites, but still one of their favorites. I mean, I mean, I understand the episode still got a lot of good moments. This Day Aria, the Big Brother song, stuff like that. But the changelings, Queen Chrysalis, that's something we wanted to see again. Like I was asking around with some other online friends I got, and they said that some of them went to watch parties for the season 5 finale. They said that when Chrysalis showed up, during the alternate Flashpoint DC Universe Infinite Crisis parody or whatever, that Chrysalis's bit got like the best pop.
Oh, totally. I mean, honestly, when you see Applejack come up, it's like, it's good to see you again, Zecora. I'm like, what the? And then Chrysalis, I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're doing this again. And
it was like one of the darkest segments. Yeah, she did. I always forget that.
She just straight up killed Zecora. I'm like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that happened, and I mean, the Sombra bit was cool, but the alternate Sombra universe was cool. But honestly, I'm watching it, and I'm just like, dude, this just looks like one of the theories on what happened before the bombs dropped in the Fallout franchise.
Oh,
I'm just saying, seeing Applejack, doing her thing or whatever, I was just instantly reminded of the Brotherhood of Steel or something.
Yeah. So one of the other aspects of the episode that I think is interesting is they're worried about the changeling, but the other thing is Spike says that this changeling is his friend.
His friend. That's got me intrigued. I got a theory or two about that. The theory is one theory is hey, maybe the Hive don't operate on a super duper, Hive mentality. Maybe this changeling wants to make a genuine face turn. Or, it's maybe a little bit too complicated for the show, but what if a changeling is impersonating Spike, and that impersonated Spike is trying to get this one changeling to be accepted, but the one changeling is actually Chrysalis in disguise? Is that a little too complex for the show?
And you say that my stuff is fascinating. That is awesome, dude.
Hey man, I gotta have one once in a while. The difference between you and me is half the time your theories end up being right.
True, but
Oh geez, you don't have to be so humble about it.
So this fourth one, this is the one that actually has me the most intrigued out of all of them. Dungeons and Discord. He
Oh, I heard about
Discord
this.
Discord comes in to join Big Macintosh and Spike's top secret guys' night of fantasy role playing. It is Dungeons and Dragons and Ponies. That
Okay.
is awesome.
I need to ask you a serious question. I know we keep getting off track a bit, and that's mostly my fault. Okay, it's all my fault. But do you think the show is getting a little too meta?
I don't
I
know.
mean, here's the thing. I mean, this is one of the things that people.
But you know what? It already jumped the shark at Slice of Life, so all bets are off.
You make a very valid point with that. It's just that's one of the things that people complain about with like the comics and like the some of the later episodes. People are just like, oh, they just rely on like the cameos for the adults and bronies and inside jokes and referential humor. And who was a voice of reason you showed me that said that they do that as an excuse to not waste time with like super developing their characters, which for the most part
No,
I
that
agree with.
that was Lily P. That was Lily P.
Oh, wait, that's right. Well, still, for the most part, I kind of agree with that. But here's the thing. This is the one time I'm willing to make an exception. Because when you told me Spike and Big Macintosh are playing Dungeons and Dragons, my first thought was that's going to be hilarious. See, there's some shows that do what Friendship is Magic does and falls flat. The point I was making with also some Friendship is Magic does is it still hits pretty good. And this is probably going to be one of those cases.
You know what, though? The best thing is, in the trailer, it shows an actual gigantic 20-sided die that Discord conjures up. And I'm just like, that is D&D in a nutshell. Speaking of, though, I'm like the only one that has ever heard of this game outside of maybe like 5 of my friends. But no one else I've ever heard of has heard of it. It's called D&D Lords of Waterdeep. Have you heard of it?
See, here's the thing about me and Dungeons and Dragons. I know nothing about it.
I don't know a ton about it either, but Lords of Waterdeep, basically what it is you have a board set up and you have to get as many points as possible before the end of the game. And one of the interesting things is you basically get these quest cards that you have to gather resources in order to get points. You have to gather the resources and attack the quest, and once you finish the quest, you get points to move around the board. You can also create towers on the board as well, and that helps for certain things as well. I think it's like more defensive maneuvers. But the other big thing is you have a card of your own that is your Lord of Waterdeep. And the one I remember that I had it was like each Lord of Waterdeep has a specific like point value due to like side questing. So if you do those side quests along with the main quests, you get more points at the end of the game. So like for mine, it was you earn like, I don't know what, it was like 5 points every tower you make. So I was making towers that whole game along with making the quests go, and I got like 60 points out of it at the end of the game. It was such a fun game, and I don't know why no one has heard of it. Audience, if you've heard of that, holy crap, it is good.
I'm just gonna take your word on that one.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Only because I don't really play board games like at all, so
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. And one thing I want to point out before we get to Legend of Everfree, do you notice that Spike is a wizard and Big Macintosh is a mage, like a full-on magic conjurer? For that, I'm just like,
oh my God.
He really did want to bring Princess Big Mac to this, didn't he? But
Yeah, no kidding.
So let's talk about Legend of Everfree. Unless you have something more you want to say
Now,
about the synopses.
nah, not about this one, but I did need to bring up that I didn't actually see the teaser for Everfree. I heard one got released, but well, I heard one got released, but I didn't actually like look into it.
Well,
What
I actually
what
did.
was in
Thank
it?
goodness. Well, basically, um, they're going to like a high school camp thing. And first of all, I want to say if they make, and this is coming out on October 1st on Netflix, if they make, if they even dare to tread to make a Total Drama Island reference, I am shutting down my computer immediately. I'm sorry, but I do not like that show. It was so
You don't
stupid.
like a little TBI?
Not really.
I'll admit it wasn't the strongest cartoon to come out of Canada, but no one can say it doesn't or didn't have longevity. I don't think it's still going, but last I heard, it was going kind of strong, like as of like 2014, even.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Um,
what goes
but
down in this teaser?
basically, it's where they go to a camp and um, the night falls
Do they
over.
gather around a
They're making
campfire and
s'mores.
sing a campfire song?
The CMPFIRE song.
That's a raunchy
Um,
song.
um, but that was honestly the best thing that ever came out of SpongeBob outside of maybe my leg.
It's one of them. It's one of them.
Yeah. Um, so then you have they're all gathered around the campfire and they're making s'mores and all that. And one of the campsite counselors or whatever starts talking about the legend of what was it? It was something Everfree. It was like this ghostly apparition or something like that. Um,
The legend of Nightmare Ghost Discord Sombra rarity.
Gaia Everfree, that's what it was called.
Oh wait,
Um,
really?
yeah, Gaia Everfree. And
That sounds
the sad,
awesome.
the sad part is when I heard Gaia, I immediately had bad flashbacks to Sonic Unleashed. But
Bruh.
anyway,
Hey, that game was underrated.
it actually wasn't that bad. Anyway, um, so you have this apparition actually come out, and it looks like one of those like classic Scooby-Doo villains too. It's really awesome. But what really makes it interesting is the fact that it's making the main seven's magic go awry. Like it's causing all these random things that they don't even understand. Like there's a part where Rarity's about to go like rock climbing or something like that, and she has like this magical shield thing that is in the shape of her cutie mark, like push out of her. Um, and
Shake a bow wow.
oh, you really had to make that reference. You really
Yes, I
had to do
did,
that.
Jonathan. Yes, I did.
Uh, don't make me come over there and whoop some ass, Edward. Anyway,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come all the way to California.
California.
California. Oh man.
I'm sorry. The Wizard was one of the best like '80s movies I remember watching,
I think you
especially
mean
with the
Wizard
reveal
was
of
one of
Mario
the
3.
best. That was one of the best nostalgia critic videos.
Yeah, totally. Uh, but apparently, human Twilight now is having like these weird magical surges that she's able to levitate everything, and she doesn't know why. And Dash is like, you know what we can do? Do what we always do: save the day. Um, that's pretty much what the trailer.
That's so cheese. Oh,
I
it's good
know.
though.
It's something that should have belonged to cheese sandwich instead of Dash. Which why haven't we
Bro.
seen a cheese sandwich human? That would be awesome.
A cheese sandwich
Um,
human. You mean weird? You mean just Weird Al?
pretty much he comes riding in playing Dare to Be Stupid or something.
Gotta get back to Albuquerque, or however that song goes.
Yes, dude. You need to see back at Winnie City. We had epic lip sync battles of Equestria, and Josh scored the entirety of Albuquerque. That's the whole 13-minute song.
All 13 minutes of, oh my god,
Yes.
that man's a magician.
He is awesome.
Really quick, we're talking about Equestria Girls. I need to pose a question. I can kind of stupid phone. I can kind of understand the main six, like, as far as the like getting the powers thing. But here's my thing about Human Twilight. What I was she always gonna get her magic powers anyway? But it just took it just took Pony Twilight to make it happen. No way, she didn't even make it happen. So like, there's some things about Human Twilight that confuse me, and that's one of them. Like how her powers work, or rather, how they were going to work eventually at some point in her life.
Yeah. I'll see you guys later. Keep talking. I'll be
What
back.
happened? Okay. Okay, the yeah, it's like it's weird to me because like it's like the other main six. Well, that's something. Someone brought that up to me. They still call the human main six the main six, but I think they still spell it. Well, they call it the humane six, but I don't know. I just think they should just call them like the main six, or just like the human six. Or wait, I literally just went in a circle with that. I'm sorry. So like. This is I'm really interested in the Equestria Girls universe, and that's mostly for Sunset Shimmer. I'll admit that Equestria Girls is, even after the dopeness that was Rainbow Rocks, we can all agree that was awesome, right? I completely understand that it's still on some on some shaky grounds for some people. But honestly, I think there's a lot of that world to be explored, because it's like it's a regular human world that just happens to have that's inhabited by versions of characters we know. I mean, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I'm not saying the world's like realistic, but it gets like magic introduced to it. So it's like shoot, that's not the consequences of that, not consequences, but ramifications for that aren't super explored. I mean, everyone makes Sunset Shimmer feel bad about what she did. Well, they used to, but that's they're never just like, hey, Fluttershy, like a random NPC at the school. They're like, hey, how come like you can like get wings and like a tail? That's weird. Why can you do that? How can you do that? So it's like, I mean, it's not a big issue, but it's one of those things where I always thought that could be very interestingly explored. And like I said, I didn't see the teaser that John was talking about, but I'm gonna watch it. I wish the last one, I think everyone can agree Rainbow Rocks was the best one, and then well, the third one I feel is definitely still better than the first one. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for it. And he said something about the magical forces messing with the main six. That'll be kind of cool. I like a little bit of psychological trauma with my characters. I think that's actually just a consequence of growing up with the 90s. Because, like, 90s cartoons were different. I know you hear that from, like, every 90s kid. But, they, excuse me. But, they really were, because, like, they, uh, you had shows like Dexter's Lab and Giant Bravo, which had like, super not subtle, like, allusions to like, sexual humor. There's some dark implications for some stuff. Besides those shows, Ed, and Eddie isn't exactly sane, and Invader Zim is Invader Zim. Nickelodeon has always tried to like steer away from that. But the Cartoon Network especially, it's like we were kind of spoiled with like Batman the animated series that had like all these like these like
What are you
traumally
doing?
messed up dudes, and then like what?
Hello. Were you talking about Batman the Animated
Oh,
Series?
oh, I was just talking. I was just talking about how I thought it was interesting that you mentioned, the magic messes with the main six and the human six, and how I was like talking about how I like a little psychological trauma with my characters because you know I'm sure you hear from every '90s kid that like every that '90s cartoons were different, but they kind of were because like take I was to sum up what I told them, take away some of the subtle or not subtle references to like bad language or sexual humor and stuff like that. We also had shows like Batman the Animated Series that just straight up told these dark, messed up stories about these dark, messed up people, and it definitely leaves someone wanting that kind of depth from any form of media. I think. I mean, of course, you can only
Yeah.
always expect that with Batman, but you get it from other shows every once in a while. It's just that stuff like Batman and eventually Batman Beyond, Justice League, it had a big continuity to it, so it seemed it's super lasting. But even Invader Zim
It's
had
the
some
DC
character developing
continuity. What do you
moments.
expect?
Well, of course. But yeah, I was just saying that, the Equestria Girls universe is interesting because, it's a real human world, but, they introduce magic, and I don't think they really talk about the consequences or real ramifications of doing that. I'm not expecting to like bring in the government. Of course, I could totally see the president in that universe being Sombra, but I'm not saying they like bring in the government, but it would be interesting to see like because think about Fluttershy and them have other friends. Don't you think any one of them would have come up to him and been like, "Hey, so like Applejack, how come you like have wings now? What? Or like, how come you have like a tail and ears? What's up with that?"
Yeah,
And
who
she's just like,
cares why it
"I don't
happened?
know." And she's like, "I don't know, but it sells them products though."
Yep. So yeah, it looks interesting. Everything looks interesting, and I'm really excited to see where all this goes. But yeah,
I'm excited
it
to
should be
see where
fun.
season 6 goes.
Yep. Season 6 is next week, and then October 1st is Equestria Girls. So hope to see you then, and we'll have it for Stranger Than Fan Fiction, hopefully next Monday or something like that. I don't know. Depends on
I was hoping, I
when
was
it
gonna say, what about Sunday?
Sunday works fine too.
Well, we'll talk about that after the camera's off.
Yep. So that's it from me, John,
And me, Snakeskin.
and we will talk to you guys later. Peace out, Dragon.
Bye.